What's going on, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be giving you the best settings in Season 5 of Modern Warfare 2. A lot of people in my comments were telling me to update my settings, give you guys a settings video, so that's what we're doing today. Now, if anything in today's video helps you out in any sort of way, do me a solid by clicking that thumbs up button. It'll help reach people who also need an updated settings video. And then also subscribe to the channel with all those notifications on so you don't miss out on future content. Now, before we get into my settings, how can you guys trust that my settings are the absolute best? Well, as much as stats don't really matter, at least in my opinion, maybe they matter to you guys. So I'm gonna show you what I'm rocking with. We got 9 days played, almost a 6 KD, almost 100,000 kills. My personal best, we got a 90 kill streak, and my most kills is 238. So I think I know what I'm talking about, just a little bit, you know? And something I love to do is showcase my controllers so you guys know what I use on a daily basis. So I actually did get a brand new controller, which I have talked about. It's literally the exact same thing, but it's white. My pink one, the trigger just went out and broke, but here's what I'm rocking with, man. I got Control Freaks on the analog sticks. You guys could purchase these and actually use my code. I'm sponsored by them. It's just code Frizz, and you could save yourself some money. Game changers. They help you with your accuracy. As you can see, the orange one's a little shorter than the purple one. I do that on purpose. The orange one is my running stick, and then the purple one is my aiming one. And I just like having them on both. I feel most comfortable with them. This one's tearing a little bit, so I did buy some new ones. I got digital triggers, so you know it's just a lot more like set, like just sensitive. I don't have to like press all the way down. There's a lot better for response time. And then I got these paddles in the back. I jump with this one, and then I dolphin dive or crouch with this one. So I can keep my thumbs on the analog sticks here while doing everything back here, rather than taking my thumb off my aiming stick to jump or crouch or dolphin dive. I can keep that perfect aim while doing things back here. So it's very, very nice. Now that all that's out of the way, let's get straight into the settings. So I play a controller, just showed you guys that. My button layout and my stick layout are all default. Reason being, I just showed you the controller. I do everything back here. I can keep my thumbs on the analog sticks. It just works out, so I don't need to mess with that. Bumper ping, I have this off. I don't want to use my bumpers to ping. Controller vibration, you guys need to turn this off. It's a necessity. It's messing up your accuracy and you don't know it. I mentioned this in every single settings video I upload because it truly is a game changer. You have to turn this off. Play with it off for like 5 days and I promise you, you're gonna come back and thank me later. Your controller doesn't need to be shaking and moving when you're firing your weapon. Trust me, it's not needed whatsoever. For my horizontal and vertical stick sensitivity, I play on a 6.5. The reason my horizontal sensitivity is a little higher than my vertical is because I'm always looking left and right. So I need it to be a little bit quicker. But when I'm looking up and down, it's not as crazy. I mean, there are some maps where the verticality is, a little crazy, but we don't have jetpacks. We're not gonna be people flying in the air. At least I hope not. So I don't need it super cracked out, and I just feel the most comfortable on a 6.5. Is this the absolute best sensitivity for everybody? Of course not. Is this a good starting ground? For sure, but I recommend messing with it and just seeing what's the absolute best for you personally. For me, this just works. For my ADS sensitivity multiplier, this is something not a lot of people know about. You need to play with this because you have your own sensitivity when you're aiming down sights. So you can make your aim assist and your aiming a lot stickier so you can land more shots if you lower it. So at default, it's a 1.00. And I knocked mine down to a 0.90. So obviously I play in controller, my aim assist and my aim is just so much stickier. I land a lot more shots because my ADS sensitivity multiplier is lowered. So if you never played with it before, maybe start at like a 0.95, or you can go straight to what I have here. Again, this is something you definitely need to lower. It'll help you land a lot more shots. Sensitivity multipliers, I kind of just left it. I literally don't mess with this at all. Vertical aim, don't mess with this at all. Kept that all standard. For aim down sights behaviors, hold. I don't mess with any of this. Automatic sprint. Automatic tactical sprint, make sure this is on. So I'm gonna head to the firing range real quick and I'm gonna show you something. When you have automatic tactical sprint on, basically all you need to do is, here, I'll show you my controller real quick too. You just gotta push the, I'm not gonna press it, I'm just gonna push it up, right? And boom, I am going as fast as you possibly can in Modern Warfare 2 when it comes to sprint speed. We'll do it again so you guys can see it. So I'm just gonna push it up, right? And you can see I'm running as fast as I possibly can. So when you have automatic tactical sprint on, you're able to do that. If you don't have it on, you actually have to press down on your running stick and then go up. So it takes a split second more. You're also potentially damaging your analog sticks. So when you're on automatic tactical sprint, again, all you gotta do is you just gotta go up, go up, go up, and you're going as fast as you possibly can. So it's definitely a lot less damaging on your controller, and it just makes things a whole lot easier for you personally. Moving on from that, my equipment behavior and weapon mount activation, default, I don't mess with it. For interact and reload behavior, I do tap to reload, so instead of having to hold it down, tap, boom, I'm reloading my weapon. But if you're someone who plays DMZ or Warzone, or you flip-flop between the two, I highly recommend swapping to prioritize interact if you're gonna play DMZ or Warzone. With this, you could just spam pick up items, whether it's ammo, weapons, loot, whatever it may be. It just makes things significantly easier. And then the way you reload on prioritize interact is you hold down to reload, but you're looting. So that's, I think, more of a priority, at least for me personally. So that's the only setting I like to change when I'm swapping from multiplayer to DMZ or Warzone. So since I mainly play multiplayer, I keep tap to reload on. Armor plate behavior, I have on apply all. So rather than having to hold down triangle or square, or whatever it is that you use to put on plates, you tap it once and then it puts on all the plates that you're missing rather than you having to hold it down while you're plating. It just makes things a little bit easier on you. For my advanced controller settings, target aim assist, turn it on. I've seen people come in my comments and be like, Frizz, bro, I didn't even have this on. Some of y'all turn this off by accident, whatever, maybe turn it on so you're actually landing your shots. My aim assist type is default. Black Ops used to be the best one. They nerfed it a few months ago, so make sure you're playing on default. It's the best aim assist type. Third person ADS correction type, I don't mess with this. Aim response curve type, the absolute best one is dynamic. All the pro players, the best players in the entire world, play on dynamic. It was in the conversation to ban this option in the competitive league. That's how OP this is, so make sure you're playing on that. My ADS sensitivity multiplier focus is a 0.90. Now the difference between this aim down sights multiplier and our other one is this applies to scopes only. So if you're someone who likes to play a lot of Warzone or snipe, whatever maybe, you're gonna wanna adjust this a little differently. Now I ain't gonna lie, I should have changed it. I made a sniper video, the new sniper, I covered it, and I was trying to drag scope a little bit. It was a little slow, so I'm gonna bump my up a little bit more. But again, mess with it how you like to. I don't really use scopes too often, so I don't really mess with it as much. My ADS sensitivity transitioning timing is instant. Custom sensitivity per zoom. So if there's a specific scope that you want to change the sensitivity to, you can. I personally just leave this all alone. I don't mess with that at all. My dead zone. So I get a lot of questions about my dead zone because my right stick minimum is very, very high. It's because my old controller, I had a little bit of stick drift, so I had to higher it so the stick drift goes away. But now I'm just so used to it, I keep it like this. But I don't really recommend it for you guys. 0.08 is perfect for your left and right minimum. Unless you have stick drift, fix it according to your controller specifically. But if you have no stick drift, no issues with your controller, 0.08 is the sweet spot. It's perfect. And then left and right max, make sure it's at 1. I think at default it's like 0.99 or 0.99. It's like pretty much maxed out. Just make sure it's a 1. And then left and right trigger dead zone, very, very important to have this at 0. If it's any higher than 0, you're gonna have some delay in your triggers and it's just gonna mess up some gunfights. You're gonna lose some gunfights. Make sure it's at 0 so it's literally instant. Controller orientation, I don't mess with. The gyro aiming, do not mess with. Just make sure that is off or your controller is gonna feel completely broken. All this needs to be off. Just make sure that's all off. A lot of settings for it. Movement behavior, I don't think I mess with any of it. Again, I'll show you guys it. I think maybe my automatic airborne mantle is partial. Maybe I changed that. But other than, oh yeah, here, invert slide dive behavior. So basically, if you have this on standard, you have to hold down your circle crouch button to dolphin dive. And then you could tap to slide or whatever maybe. But if it's inverted, you tap to dolphin dive and then hold to slide. And that's what I do because I find myself personally dolphin diving a whole lot more than sliding. Sliding doesn't seem to be that good, although they did buff it a little bit in season 5. I think dolphin diving is so much more beneficial, getting to cover, getting out of enemy fire. So I have my inverted so I could just, it just makes things a whole lot easier for me to dolphin dive, and it lets me do it a lot more consistently. So do what you want to do with that information. If you dolphin dive a lot more like I do inverted. If you find yourself using the slide a lot more often and you would rather do that than dolphin dive, then keep it on standard. So it's all up to you. And then parachute auto deploy, I have mine off so I can get as close to the ground as I possibly can. I could pull my own chute on my own time. And then I think I keep the rest default. I'll continue to go over the settings so you guys can kind of get these as we go. I'm just trying to pay attention to see if I missed anything. No, I think we're okay so far. I don't mess with any of this. Cool, that's it for the controller settings, man. Next, we have my graphic settings. I'm not gonna go too in depth because I had a literal PC god just tune my stuff to how it needs to be tuned. So for those of you who are on PC and you wanna get the most out of your current build, make sure you guys check out FPS Hub. I actually recently got sponsored by them. I was always vouching for them before that. And you guys could save yourself some money on some tuning packages. You guys could use code FRIZZ, FRIZZ, to save yourself some money. Put a little in my pocket as well. And they will tune your PC so you can get the most out of whatever build you're rocking with. So again, I didn't do any of these. What you see on screen is for my PC only, and specifically, I'm still gonna go over it because I know I may get questions about it. So I'm gonna go nice and quick over it because I had a PC god just do all this for me. They even went inside of my BIOS and my Windows settings, and they just made sure I got every single dollar that I spent on my gaming PC and made it well worth it. So I highly recommend checking them out. I can even throw a screenshot of my benchmark where, you know, it kind of just maxes out all my stuff and you guys could just see what I'm working with. It's absolutely unbelievable. And ever since I got my PC tuned, zero issues. My PC's worked wonders ever since. Again, I'll leave a link in the description down below. Go ahead, check out their website, purchase some of them packages, get your PC tuned. Again, use code FRIZZ, FRIZZ, to save yourself some money. And then moving on to my view graphic settings, this is something that I actually mess with on my own. We got my field of view, which is a 115. I used to play on a 120. I had to lower it. 120, I get it. Some people are like, oh, that's what all the cool kids are on, right? Throw whatever you're most comfortable on. I think 115 is good. For me personally, it just works out. It just helps you just see everything very well while not being like, wait, is that an enemy over there? Like, it's a pretty like middle ground. So again, mess with your FOV, put what you feel most comfortable on. You can start on a 115, lower it, higher it from there on out. ADS field of view, I kind of want to make a dedicated video on this. I don't think people understand how important this is. Basically, when you play unaffected, visually, it makes it look like your weapons have less recoil than they really do. So if you're like, damn, first has no recoil, this setting literally makes it look like that. So you gotta play unaffected. My weapon field of view is on wide. So basically it makes my weapon look smaller. So I'm able to see a lot more of the map where the enemies are rather than my big old gun just in my face. It makes my weapon look smaller, which is awesome. For my first person camera movement, you gotta have this on least. If you're not on least, you're doing something wrong. When you put this on least, your camera movement doesn't shake all over the place. It doesn't look all messed up. It just makes it very, very steady and smooth and just makes your game look so much better. So highly recommend doing that. I think at default, it's like 100%. So you're gonna wanna change that if you haven't yet already. I did the same thing for the third person point of view, but I don't play third person. Oh, that's pretty much it for the graphic settings. Nice and easy. Now, not only do the FPS Hub guys tune your PC to make sure your frames and your graphics are just crisp and you're getting everything out of your PC, but they also do audio optimization. So if you just can't hear footsteps, oh, they go make sure you hear some footsteps. It's still something that I need to get done. So if I'm getting it done, you sure as hell should get it done too. And again, you could still use code FRIZZ, FRIZZ, to save yourself some money. I'm gonna go ahead and get that audio tuning as well because I haven't done it and I hate the audio in this game. So here's what I'm rocking with as of right now. I got home theater on. My master volume is just cranked to the max. The gameplay music, the voice chat, cinematic music, war tracks, it's all nonsense volume. I turn all that off. I turn it down. I don't want to hear none of that. Dialogue's important, but I need them screaming in my ear. I got this on 50%, so I know when there's an enemy UAV up, they got a kill streak, I gotta get inside. And then effects volume, that's like footsteps, nades, and things like that. That's very, very important volume to me. So I have that cranked. So all this irrelevant volume, I turn it off. I don't need to hear the music. I don't need to hear word tracks. Voice chat's irrelevant. Turn that down or turn it off. And then speaker output, I think I have mine on stereo. I genuinely don't even know the difference for that. Proc chat I have off. I've heard that you can actually lose frames if you have it on. So I turn it off. You know how COD is. Beats frickin' me. Moving down, we have subtitles. I turn this off. Again, it's just nonsense on my screen. I don't need there. Default. Okay, that's default. I was going to turn it to like smalls or something. For mono audio, make sure you guys turn this off. If you have it on, basically you can't distinguish the difference between left and right. It just all mixes in together. So if it's off, you can distinguish if the enemies are on the left or on the right of you. If you have this on, I mean, all your audio is going to be so messed up. So that's a necessity. I think it's the most important audio setting here. And then after that, you got to reduce this sound is what I ain't going to bother trying to say that word. Basically, the sound from the concussion and flash nades, if you have this off, it's very overpowering, so you can't really hear. But if you have this on, then that concussion and flashbang sound is reduced. So it's not blaring in your ear. You can still hear if the enemy is running at you or waiting on you or whatever it may be. So I highly recommend turning this on. There's my hit markers, and you guys can do it for the audio settings. And then finally, we have my interface settings where I literally don't miss anything you see on screen except my color customization. I like to have my own filters where every color is just incredibly different from the next. So the enemies, nice and bright red. If I'm at a party, bright blue. Random teammates, green. Me, I'm yellow. If a neutral flag is white. A contested one is like a dark yellow. I just love how I know what is what. So that's why I changed my colors like this. So if you guys want to copy those down, you're more than welcome to. If we scroll down past that, we have my vertical and horizontal HUD bounds. Now, if you put this to 0, I think at default yours is 100. 100, everything's pushed out. It's all on the sides, like mini map, your ammo, your kill. It's all to the sides. Push to the edges of your screen. If it's at 0, it's all squished in. So instead of having to bring your eyes to the edge of your monitors or your screens, you can kind of bring it more to the middle of your screen, so you can focus right back to the middle of your screen. So it just makes things a little bit easier, so you can just focus back on the enemies after looking at your mini map, or how much ammo do I got? Am I close to my next kill streak? You get to look more to the center of your screen rather than all the way to the edge. It's just a lot easier on you. Mini map, make sure it's on square. You just get a lot more coverage out of it, as you can see on the 2 photos right there. Mini map rotation is on. The compass I have off. I don't really use it, and I think it's just nonsense on my screen. I also don't use it for callouts. East 93. Come on, bro. I ain't doing that. I got that off. I got my crosshairs on. Damage based on. Player abbreviation. I have it on abbreviated. Center dot. Make sure this is on. And I have it on largest. We made a full dedicated video on this, which you guys could check out if you would like. I made a whole video on how it helps with your aim assist. I just recently turned that on. Telemetry, if you guys want to like showcase your FPS, your latency and packet loss, it's going to be in your interface settings. It took me a while to figure out where this was. So yeah, we could turn the clock on. What time is it? When am I recording this video? 1:13 p.m. Yep, it's pretty spot on. And then moving on, telemetry, label size, default. The connection meter, I used to have it on, but it's way too big. Tooltips, I have that off. Inverted flash. Oh, you got to turn this on. So if you get flashbanged, rather than your screen going bright white, you hard blink for a second there, you can't see. If you invert flash, turn this on, your screen goes black instead, and the effects aren't as bad as it going white. It's so much easier on your eyes, and the effects are just far lessened as well. So highly recommend turning this on. It's an absolute game changer, and sometimes it really changes the outcome of a gunfight. Anyways, that's gonna wrap up today's settings video. If anything helped you out in the slightest bit, you changed any settings because of me, do me a solid by clicking that thumbs up button. Really helps the video out. And then comment down below best settings. That's also how I know you made it to the very end of today's video. I'll be liking hard your guys' comments, and I'll see you in the next upload. Only if you guys are subscribed with all those notifications on, man. All right, you guys all stay safe. Have a great day. And I'm out. Peace.